So as of recording this video, the date is the 22nd of December 2021, and Ben Simmons has not played a single minute in the 2021-2022 NBA season. And why is this? Well, I wish I could tell you. One day it's back injury, the next day it's mental health issues, and who knows what the next will be. One thing for certain is that for the 76ers, having their number one pick and max contract player not wanting to play for them is obviously a big issue and leaves a big hole in the team. But since the, let's just say passing incident, it seems like the whole NBA fan community has turned on him. I mean, making references to him being a bust, saying he'll be off to China, or even saying the 76ers are better without him. Well, I'm here to say that these aren't true. In fact, in today's video, I want to discuss why Ben Simmons is more important than you think, and why teams should be trying to trade for him, as I believe his services can help lead a team to a championship. And no, I'm not kidding. So before you click off this video and discuss, I want to get the obvious thing out of the way. His jump shot. Yes, his shooting is bad. In fact, it's terrible. 14.7% from deep, and the NBA is up there with some of the worst in league's history. And honestly, it's just not good enough. But why is it so low? Well, there's a few good reasons, and others that really are poor on Ben's side. Like the fact that he has a family member as a shooting coach. Obviously that isn't working. Or the fact that even though he's ambidextrous, he really doesn't know which hand is his dominant. And that's not good enough either. When people say his jump shot is broken, I have to disagree a little. His belief is that he can't shoot, and particularly his free throws, and when he has that mentality, he's just not going to shoot. He feels like it's a waste of possession, and really, as a 14.7% shooter from deep, he's not exactly wrong. It obviously hinders him when wanting to drive to the basket as well, as he's worried he's going to get fouled, get to the free throw line, and miss some shots. Which, in his head, we'd better off going to a teammate's hand. And obviously, the team plans around this, and other teams know he's going to do it. So, that would make things easier, right? Well, not really. Even from this glaring weakness, he still finds a way to be one of the best passers in the league. In fact, in the entire 2021 playoffs, Ben Simmons was able to average 8.8 assists, which was 5th best in the entire league, while averaging 2 less turnovers than anyone else above him, except for Damian Lillard. If he was so predictable, then why can't opponents pick the moment that he's going to pass to a teammate, creating a turnover, or knowing who he's going to pass to, and making sure that player doesn't get open? If he was that predictable, he wouldn't get those chances off, but he still manages to do it. In fact, the play that he gets criticized for the most in the playoffs, the pass to Thibault, it wasn't exactly the wrong decision. He didn't know that it was that open, passed to a teammate that was cutting hard and fast, and a teammate got fouled at the rim, missing the free throws. Ben didn't miss those free throws, yet he gets blamed for making a split-second decision that still created an offensive opportunity for his teammate. The teammate just ended up missing the free throws. Bad luck. In fact, Ben's combined points created in the playoffs per game, combining points and assists, is 35.1. His teammate, Joel Embiid, who was seen as the main option and didn't really cop much backlash for the loss, had a total points created per game of 36. Now that's a 0.9 difference in points between the two players. And Embiid averaged 1.5 more turnovers than Ben. So, was Ben really that bad? So basically, from what I can gather, because Ben couldn't score as much points as his fellow teammate Joel, he gets majority of the blame. In fact, 76ers had Tobias Harris average 19 in that series, and just under 50% shooting. Seth Curry was shooting almost 60% from 3 in that series on 20 points per game. So that's around 70 points average between just those 3 players, which is a big chunk of the team's points. So that you're putting up the same numbers, right? As of recording this video, 76ers are sitting 6th in the Eastern Conference with a 16-15 record. Not bad. Last year at the same time though, they were 21-10. That's a 5-game difference, which isn't massive, but it's quite notable. Okay, let's look at the stat difference between the two seasons. Although this season isn't completed, I feel like there's enough data to make a fair comparison. So if you can pause this and have a quick look at the team comparison from last season to this season. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that they have gotten worse in just about every statistic compared to other teams. They went from 14th best points per game to 23rd, or being top 10 in rebounding to dead last. Every single stat has got worse or dropped their ranking. Oh wait, sorry. Their 3-point attempts has gone up, but they're also shooting at a lower percentage. And that's just the team stats. What if I told you that Tobias Harris is averaging his lowest percentage of shooting from the field and from deep, and his lowest amount of points since joining Philly? Or that Joel Embiid is currently shooting his worst field goal percentage in his entire career at 45%. The only player that's really shown improvements since Ben hasn't played is Seth Curry. And even then, he's currently shooting his worst field goal percentage from 3. Although, it's still a great 40%. But still, if you can't see it by now, Ben has a knack to improve a team, not only offensively, but let's look at defensively as well. I find it so crazy that I've made it this far into the video, and I haven't even talked about Ben's defensive prowess. There's no doubt that the Defensive Player of the Year runner-up should have been winner in my opinion. Your team would dip in defense statistics. But would it go as far as going from 4th ranked in opponent's field goal percentage to 15th? Or go from 1st place in steals to 9th? Even just the intangibles. I mean, imagine going from being guarded by almost 7-foot Ben Simmons to 6'2 Tyrese Maxey. And no offense to Tyrese Maxey, but it's a completely different ball game for opposing teams to deal with. Although, I will admit, the blow defensively hasn't been as bad, as Philly has Matisse Thybulle, click up here for my video on him, who has taken up a lot of those defensive responsibilities. But they've only just done that recently. Now this is just my case of teams have realised Ben's ability on the court. Because I think some people actually believe he's a bum, or he's a bust, just because he doesn't impact the game by scoring 20 points a game all the time. But one point that I really can't argue with, and I agree with to an extent, is when people question his mindset. Now, I'm not talking too much about on the court, but more of the outside factors. Like yeah, he took a lot of the blame for the loss, and he did admit that. But what has he done since? He had a chance to go to the Olympics with the Boomers, who really could have helped change his mindset and prove to the world why he's one of the best players on the planet. But instead, went to Wimbledon and went to live the socialite life. How good would it have been if he just rocked up to 76ers training and just bought everything, pushing his teammates and himself? But what happened? He did pretty much the opposite. Looked unmotivated, didn't want to be there, and didn't stay longer than he had to. And the dude hasn't even stepped foot on the NBA court this season. And it just confuses me, because if you want teams to trade for you, you're going to have to show to them that you're worth trading for. Because the last time everyone saw Ben on the court, he wasn't the greatest, and even he'll admit that. Now Ben's not the only one to blame here. I mean, Doc Rivers threw him under the bus, the team management threw him under the bus, and it just didn't seem like he had any supports from the organisation. I think this can be best summed up by Isaiah Thomas here.
They dogged him.
So let me...
No,
You
not
really think so?
Well, here's what happened. Yeah, he had a bad moment. He had some bad moments in the playoffs, right? What your team, your coach, and your organization is supposed to do in your bad moments, they are supposed to protect you. They ain't supposed to air your dirty laundry out. Your teammates ain't supposed to be like, oh man, he the one. No.
This I completely agree with. Both sides can be blamed here, but at the end of the day, the team had to put their ego aside and admit their wrongness in this situation. But that moment is far gone now. And really, I don't see Ben playing for the 76ers this year at all. If ever. I really hope he gets traded, because even though it's his own decision, he's too good to be sitting on the sidelines, or at home, or wherever he is, at the moment, and not playing basketball. He's a positive on both sides of the ball, and really, any team could use his services to help them win a championship. Anyway guys, that's just my thoughts on this situation. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, as it would be greatly appreciated. And please let me know down below what you think of the situation. Do you think that Ben is undervalued? Do you believe he's still overrated? Should he get traded? Should he stay? There's a lot to discuss, and I'd love you guys to chat about them in the comments below. Anyway, cheers and have a good one.